I got to tell you, the audience, I know a lot of Palenisas, but I think that's the first time that when you guys were up there that really laid out the difference between the Occupy movement and the Tea Party movement. And Andrew and I are now making a film about it called Occupy Unmasked. But it is. Why don't you guys go into it? I mean, this movement is just not a bunch of college kids and a bunch of hippies that came together. This has a very, very dark underbelly.
Yeah, it is, and it goes back to, Andrew, the unions. There's always been this big labor in America is, everybody loves to beat up Wall Street. Well, guess what? Big labor is so much worse because these guys have gotten away with and gotten off the hook all under the guise of chest thumping for the workers with so much. It is literally unbelievable. And in the union movement in America, there has always been this tug and this pull between the true liberals like Samuel Gompers, who truly wanted to protect and help workers, and the radical, hardcore, anti-American, socialist Marxists who now are dominating the leadership of the Democratic Party and of big labor,
and Jennifer, you and Dana see it. You in Philadelphia and Dana in St. Louis, and it's not just industrial unions. What we've really got, which I think is actually 10 times worse, is these government unions that are on the taxpayers' payroll. These guys funnel the money back to the Democratic Party. They are out of control, and you see that now that they are SEIU particularly is one of the key links to this whole Occupy movement.
Right. Well, and one of the things that fascinated me, Steve, is when this thing first started, when the Tea Party movement first started, these were people going to Office Depot to buy markers so that they could write on placards with themselves. People went. I think I memorized the price of markers and placards. It's like $12.50 if you go into Office Depot. And then when you look at how the Occupy movement started, you guys remember the website that first kicked it off. It was on the Adbuster site, which is a company in Canada. It was slick. It was totally pro. They had handbills printed out. They had celebrities already on board. I learned about the Occupy movement from the celebrities tweeting about it on Twitter. It didn't evolve as this grassroots thing. It immediately started with this super slick website that cost probably several $1,000s to do. And I'm looking at this wondering, where did they get their money? So bloggers began digging into who is Adbusters? Who's funding them? Oh, it's the Tides Foundation, and all goes back. George Soros is like a Scooby-Doo character. He's like, it's creepy. And looking at how it developed and then the unions that got involved, this has been planned from the get-go. And one of the things that was published over at Big Government as well was showing exactly how the unions were really involved and how ACORN was really involved in all of this. They've been planning this from the beginning, and they wanted to exploit it. And in St. Louis, like I said, during CPAC, the grassroots leader was run out on a rail like Elijah Lovejoy because she wanted to be grassroots. She didn't want to get involved in the super anarchy, commie, Marxist sort of fever that was taking over all of these different groups across the country. She didn't want to get violent. They did. And so that's how there's such a stark contrast between the Tea Party movement and the Occupy movement, and now we're seeing it. The media doesn't even hardly talk about the Occupy movement anymore.
No, they want to watch it, but they perform their function. See, they're an instrument of intimidation, and they were able to shift the conversation from debt and deficits and spending to income inequality and the 1%. See, they perform their function this time, but they're the brown shirts, and they will be back